Good morning, ladies and gents. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. In addition to backpacking, something else that's always sort of piqued my interest is like van life, living in vehicles, things like that. I've always thought that maybe someday I would live in a van, even if not full-time, just have some sort of setup to take longer trips and do some camping, do some traveling in, things like that. I have not gotten to a point in my life where I'm ready or able to do the whole van life thing. So when I bought this this Subaru Forester this past year, I sort of had some plans already in my head, you know, to do some camping out of it, maybe sleep in the back. I actually didn't realize that people sort of build these out though. Like, people do some crazy things with these Subarus. I'm not getting too crazy here, but I am planning to put a little bit of a sleep platform back here. I've seen many different budget builds on YouTube and things, and I've taken some ideas from each of them. I want to kind of combine some of them into what I personally want for this. But basically what it's going to be is a long sleep platform that sits, you know, 8 inches or so up off of the back of the car here, and then underneath I'm just going to have like some drawers or storage bins, space to put camping gear and whatnot. It's a pretty simple build. I guess you can call it a build because I'm using material, but it's pretty basic. I'm excited to do it. I've learned to like to do trail magic and things like that, so having this little setup will help in that regard. As far as material goes, I've got one sheet of 3/4 inch ply here. Over here I've got 2x10, a 2x6, and I've just got some random things over here. I'm gonna put like this outdoor carpet on top once it's all finished to kind of give it a cleaner, comfier feel, I guess. Got a 30-inch piano hinge that I'm gonna utilize, and then there's just some random screws and bolts and things. So I'm gonna start making some measurements here and get to cutting some of this wood up and try to bang this out in a few hours here. This is my only day off, so I don't want to spend all day on this, but definitely want to have something half decent anyway. So I've got some pieces cut here. My original plan was to build the platform up over the wheel well here like this, but that would put it like over 9 inches up off the bottom of the car, and it leaves very little headroom, especially once I put like a little mattress on here or something. It's just gonna feel very claustrophobic. So now I'm thinking I'm gonna cut this a little shorter so that it fits in between the wheel well and just sacrifice some of the width for more headroom. I've got these 2x10s cut down to the length that I need. They're going to be the supports under the first piece that goes in the back here. The tricky part is the Subarus have this little hump here, so with the supports I kind of have to make up for that. So this is going to be the toughest cutting that I have to do, because I've got to cut these 2x10s this way, and it has to, you know, drop an inch from here to here. So we're going to be cutting diagonally like that. Alright, so that actually wasn't too bad. Came out pretty good. I'm just doing this to give me the most level platform in the back as possible. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not much of a woodworker at all. Just trying to do the best I can here. Just kind of sanded everything down to clean the edges up a little bit, get rid of some splinters. I got the cheapest wood at Home Depot that I could pretty much find. I'm trying to do this as cheap as possible. I'm somewhere around 120, 130 bucks in, And that includes everything, screws and everything, just no tools. I had all the tools already. So now all of my cuts are pretty much done. I'm gonna start trying to fit the first piece here into the back. So it's gonna be essentially 3 separate pieces. So one that's gonna take up the back here, another piece that's gonna be mostly here over the back seat, and then there's gonna be a third piece that kind of flips over with the piano hinge, and that's going to be like for the head space. And then I'm going to use supports to kind of, you know, put underneath there. But basically my goal is to have it so that it can all kind of fold up and fit into the hatch here if I want to use the back seat. So I'm kind of planning on keeping the back piece in here pretty much permanently, and then the other 2 pieces, you know, you can take in and out as you need to whenever you want to go camping. So this is the first piece, and this is probably what I'm going to plan to just keep in here. I'm going to get some like storage totes or something to put under here to put like camping gear in and whatnot. But yeah, if I go get groceries or whatever, I can just stack them on top. You know, I don't haul too much in this Subaru anyway, so yeah, this will probably just live here. But as you can see, it fits perfectly. I can still put the back seat up, and the hatch closes just fine, so this will work. I left about 2 inches of the 2x10 sticking out here. I'm going to drill a hole into each of these, and I'm going to steal an idea from a different YouTube video that I saw, where you essentially drill, you know, a big hole and use like a drop pin to connect the next piece, and I'll show you what I mean by that. This is the first piece that's going to be in the hatch. This is the next piece that's going to sit on top of the back seats, and the way that we're going to attach this to this is just by using a hex bolt. So I drilled these holes a little bigger than the bolt, and when you put the 2 pieces together, you just drop the bolts in, and that'll keep it from coming apart. So that makes it a little less permanent, a little easier to remove the second piece and take it in and out of the car, or put it in the hatch if I want to use the back seat. So before we get this first piece in, I got some carpet tape on there. I'm just gonna slap a piece of this outdoor carpet on there to make it a little nicer, a little more comfy. Press it down real good. Cool. Trim it up and we'll get ready to put this first piece in. So the first piece is in the back. This is going to be the second piece, and you can see, so now this will just lay on top of this 2-inch lip here, and then I can use these bolts to kind of keep it in place. So now I have to figure out how big to make the support to go under here. I've got the level on there. I'm kind of holding it up like this to figure out where I want it. Right about here, it's about 6 inches, 6-inch high support that I'll need. And I bought 2x6s, so it should work perfectly. I don't want it to be completely level, you know, when there's no one on top of it, because when you add some weight to the seat here, it's going to press down a little bit because of the cushion. So hopefully, if I measure a little bigger than I think I need it, when I lay on top of it, it should compress it and make it pretty close to level. It's not going to be perfect. So this is going to work out pretty good. I cut down the 2x6 here, and yeah, as far as like being level, once we put some pressure on here, the level's right out, so this should work out well. I was going to utilize the drop pin situation here as well, just so that I could take this and this apart and it would pack down a little smaller, but I don't think I'm going to do that. It's too many moving parts. I'm just going to screw this together, throw the carpet on there, and get it in place, and we'll get ready for the next piece. All right, so here's the second piece. I started putting on the carpet tape And then I figured we might as well start on this piano hinge. So I'm going to put this hinge on here to connect the third piece, which is right there, as like an extension, just to make the bed a little longer. Yeah, so check it out. So now that'll kind of fold on top of each other like that. Perfect. Second piece is loaded in, secured with the 3 drop pins. Now I forgot to mention I'm a little taller. I'm about 6'2", so for this to totally work for me, I'm gonna have to put the seats the whole way forward whenever I want to sleep. Alright, so let's do that real quick. And now we come around and utilize this piano hinge. Boom, like that. Alright, so the total length of this thing is 73 inches. Alright, which it looks like if I want to extend this at some point, I could potentially do that, get a couple more inches out of it, but this will do for now. Last thing I want to do is measure supports for under the headpiece here to go from here to the floor. Again, probably just using like a drop pin situation here. Let me get those measured out, and then that'll be pretty much it. So measuring from the floor up, it's pretty much 2 feet on the dot, so I'm probably going to go just a hair over 2 feet, again, to give me a little bit of an angle. That way when I put some weight on this thing, it'll drop it down to pretty close to level for me. Alright everyone, so here is pretty much the finished product. So I used the drop pin situation there and there for these supports here under the headpiece, and then I also added this half-assed support underneath the hinge here. It kind of felt a little weak there. After climbing in and out of it a few times, I realized I definitely needed more support under this hinge here. So what I ended up doing was getting rid of this stupid last minute support that I made, and I just moved the 2x6 that was here to here. It's not directly under the hinge, but it's close enough that you get plenty of support there, and it feels a lot more sturdy now. So basically, if I want to sleep in this thing, I would have the hatch closed, of course, and then I'd kind of have to crawl in one of the side doors here, kind of swing around like this. And I would want my head to be on this end, because then I can look out through the sunroof here. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm about 6'2", like I said, and with the hatch closed, I can pretty much stretch out, just barely. But I kind of sleep with my knees bent a little bit anyway, so not going to be a huge deal. This will be great for me solo, that's for sure. 2 people, going to be a little tight, but not as tight as a duplex, I'll tell you that. Now, if I'm not really sleeping in this thing and I want to drive again, I can come here, remove these pins, just like that. Piano hinge kind of flips over here. These I can just kind of store wherever, tuck them under a seat or something. Remove 3 pins here, like that. And then this piece should fit right on top of this one. Put the seats back up, come back here, close the hatch, and you're good to go. So yeah, I think that's about it for today. Like I said, I'm definitely going to get some like totes or something to slide in and out of here to put like camping gear in. I'll probably get like window screens and things like that. I had made I made Reflectix window shades for all the windows already. I'll probably get some like lights or, you know, something to put in here, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. The 4th of July is coming up in what, 2 weeks, and I scheduled a few days off. I always like to do trail magic on the 4th of July, so hopefully that'll be my first night camping out in this thing and giving it a go. So we'll look forward to that. Once I have this thing packed up with more gear and I get a little mattress, I'll show you guys what the whole finished setup looks like. It took me maybe like 4 hours or so to do everything once I got all the material, so not too bad for a little portion of the day. Appreciate you all watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little different than the hiking videos, but I'm excited about it. I thought some of you guys might be too. See you soon, guys. Peace.